So here recently, when Brent Venables was talking about the practices Oklahoma has held, he singled out a player, saying this player has played better defensively than anybody else. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you'll know this is a guy I've been extremely high on for the Oklahoma Sooners for quite some time. And today, we need to talk about why the news on Billy Bowman is so big for the Oklahoma Sooners, but also why there's been so much palpable excitement around this news from Oklahoma Sooner fans. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited at the prospect of what Billy Bowman could do at the safety position this season? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below, as those interactions are massive to content creators such as myself. But having said all that, let's jump right into this, because here recently when Brent Venables was speaking and talking about the practices Oklahoma has held, he singled out Billy Bowman, a sophomore from Denton, Texas, and a defensive back, saying that Billy Bowman has played as well defensively, if not better, than anybody else they've had. And this was music to Oklahoma fans, because this was an individual who came in last year as a true freshman and really set it on fire on several different positions. He was moved around the defense all over the place last season, and because of that, he never really got to get acclimated to one set position. He was very good and showed promise everywhere they moved him, but he never got to fully grow and develop into that position. Fast forward a year, and that's no longer the case, because even though he still has all the athletic ability to be very good at several different positions in that secondary, I have no doubt about that, the Brent Venables staff is now settled on Billy Bowman playing safety, and at the end of the day, him being decided on a set position, him being able to learn and develop and have set time right there dedicated to the learning of that position is only going to help him going forward. So when Oklahoma fans are now sitting here looking at the situation, and especially looking at that safety position, you could have Key Lawrence at strong safety and Billy Bowman at free safety, and that's an exciting duo, one that on paper has tremendous upside. We need to see it, but it is going to be an exciting tandem, one that I know Oklahoma fans can't wait to see, and especially with the news of Billy Bowman playing at this level. Because there's a few reasons I'm not surprised about this. First and foremost, I got to watch Billy Bowman play in high school, and I got to see how talented he was. Not only at one position, but at several different positions. It was apparent. But secondly, I think someone with the versatility Bowman has is exactly what Brent Venables is looking for in this defense. We talk about this consistently. The way Brent Venables runs his defense, I just think Billy Bowman fits what they're going to want to do, and because of that, I think this is going to be a match made in heaven, and Billy Bowman emerging the way he has is ultimately an incredibly good thing for the Oklahoma Sooners. So this is a position I'm going to be watching very closely. Many of you know how high I've been and how high I remain on Billy Bowman. He was someone that as a true freshman, I picked him as someone to watch if you were an Oklahoma fan, and now if you're asking me sophomores to watch for the Oklahoma Sooners, well, I have to remain consistent in my answer of Billy Bowman. He was my freshman for Oklahoma fans to watch last season. I can't back off that now because I truly do believe he gets time to develop at a position. He's going to be someone that really excels. But why did this news excite Oklahoma fans in the way that it did? Well, there's multiple reasons for this. The obvious is that an exciting player who Oklahoma fans know has an unbelievably high ceiling is really coming into his own. But the other reason this is so exciting for the Oklahoma fan base and why you've seen this all over social media is because the passive effects of what this means. Oklahoma fans have been in a situation where if you've been listening for the past several years, there's been one thing they've wanted more than anything, and that's the emergence of a defense that resembled the defenses they'd become so accustomed to. And they just haven't had that. Now, while they had Alex Grinch and the previous staff, there were defensive improvements every year, and last year kind of derailed that. But now when you fast forward and you no longer have the older staff and you have this new staff, there's this newfound excitement that the Oklahoma defense is going to resemble more closely the defenses that they were so accustomed to when they were winning at the level they expected to win at. So Brent Venables coming back has kind of signaled this return that Oklahoma fans have been wanting for quite some time. Now, I'm not saying that Oklahoma fans have wanted to get away from the high-powered offenses they've become so accustomed to. I don't think anybody in the modern game of college football looks at having a high-powered offense that is so effective and says, I don't want that anymore in place of a great defense. You want both. But with Brent Venables coming back, that's where this gets so intriguing to me, because naturally there's going to be this expectation that the defense is going to find its way, especially with a defensive-minded head coach and somebody that's had so much success as a defensive coordinator, both when he was with Oklahoma, but especially when he left Oklahoma and was under Dabo Swinney with Clemson. I mean, you look at those Clemson defenses, they were phenomenal. Now, does this mean, as I hinted to earlier, that the offense is going to go by the wayside? I can't imagine it would, and the reason is very simple. You have Jeff Lebby. And if we look at Jeff Lebby and his offenses at Ole Miss, they were incredibly efficient and very high-powered. But if you're someone who's sitting there and saying, okay, Ty, but he was at Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin is the head coach there, and as great as an offensive mind as Jeff Lebby may be, Lane Kiffin is regarded as one of the best offensive minds in college football, all I can tell you is you're not wrong. But I would simply point you to his time at UCF, where he also put up big-time offensive numbers. So it's not just simply relegated to his time under Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. If anything, I think the time he spent with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss is only going to be an extreme net positive, because he learned new wrinkles from someone who I do consider to be one of the best offensive minds in the game of football in Lane Kiffin. I mean, that guy knows how to put together an offense that'll hurt your defense. That's the one thing we know about Lane Kiffin. He's going to troll on Twitter, and he's going to put together an offense that's capable of hurting a defense. And now Jeff Lebby's here, which gives Oklahoma fans hope that the offense is going to remain high-powered, but also something I consistently point out, because it needs to be consistently pointed out, Jeff Lebby's not starting behind the curve. Jeff Lebby gets to come into a situation where he gets to work with a quarterback he already found tremendous success in Dillon Gabriel. And likewise for Dillon Gabriel, this is a double-edged sword. Jeff Lebby gets somebody that he has familiarity with, therefore the learning curve is exponentially decreased, and Dillon Gabriel gets to work with somebody he had supreme success under, somebody he has familiarity with, and therefore the learning curve for Dillon Gabriel is decreased. When the learning curve for your quarterback is decreased, he can help get everybody on speed, which is only going to help the process of learning this offense. And it's not going to be a super simple offense. There's going to be a lot of wrinkles. But I think the comments from Brent Venables really highlight the excitement from Oklahoma fans. They see a player in Billy Bowman who they're all very excited to see, and now you have your new defensive head coach saying this guy right here is playing elite football. The one thing Oklahoma fans have been consistently clamoring for years now is the return of that defense that they saw when they were at their level of prominence. And that doesn't mean that they want to completely get rid of the high-powered offense, which is why they bring in Jeff Lebby, which is why they're very lucky and fortunate to get Dillon Gabriel. But at the end of the day, it's this expectation that the Oklahoma defense is much closer to being back now than it was with the previous staff. Something we have to see, but when you look at the results Brent Venables has put forward, it's tough to argue that it's not going to be. At the end of the day, I have to hear from Oklahoma fans. I have to hear from college football fans about this, whether you're a fan of the Oklahoma Sooners or not. One thing we can agree on is that right now, Oklahoma is one of the most intriguing teams in the nation, along with Miami, USC, and a handful of other teams as they get new coaches and they're figuring out what the future is going to look like. And I, for one, being someone who loves college football so much, am super interested in every single one of them. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this. Let me know your season expectations for OU, because the other day I challenged Oklahoma fans to see if we could get a certain number of subscribers on a video. Y'all absolutely killed it, as I expected y'all would. And because of that, we're going to be putting together a joint video with someone here very soon on the season expectations for the Oklahoma Sooners, something I know y'all will love. Hop down in the comments. Let me know that. That's it. See ya.